This is Sports Center.
All right, so welcome everybody to the Choey and Jandler, the Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour Cowboys edition. Welcome, Choey.
Welcome, Jandler.
All right, so first thing first, we got to start off. You took the Cowboy quiz, right? The personality quiz?
I did.
All right, so I did as well. I'm thinking we should try and guess who the person was. So maybe we're going to do like a 5 question, not 20 questions, but you each give us, like I get a couple questions.
Because the one thing that I was thinking when you came with the idea, I like the idea, except for the fact that I'm wondering, does it, did it tell me somewhere and I just missed it, like the list of people I could possibly turn out like?
I have no idea. You know, I accidentally did it twice because the first time I didn't screenshot my evidence.
Oh, yeah.
And so I did it a second time. So and then I did it with a friend a couple weeks ago, and he got Emmitt Smith.
Gotcha.
So I do know that there's 3 different people.
No matter how you take the quiz, it's always the same person.
It's like everyone's Emmitt Smith.
I'm like, how did you?
All right, so I'll go first, right? So let me try it. What do you think? 5 questions to try and guess who you were?
Sounds good.
Were you on offense or defense?
Offense.
Offense. That's 1. Current or old player?
Retired player.
Retired player. Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Yes. I got 2 questions left. Running back?
Yes.
Oh, well, I'm going to guess Emmitt Smith now.
Correct.
Ah!
That is correct.
Woo! Were you happy about Emmitt Smith?
I was kind of like, okay, I guess so. Like, it made me wonder because, like, there was a couple of questions.
You're like, yeah, okay.
Well, because I'm like, how did you pick that? Because I remember, like, one of the questions was, like, which position do you most, like...
Yeah,
like
identify with?
Yeah, and I picked receiver.
Were you hoping for Michael Irvin or...
I was just kind of curious to see, like, if it was going to pop up and they're like, oh... It's like, oh...
Cole Beasley.
Noah Brown. You're like, I'm like, wait, what? I'm not even, like, a starter? Like, what kind of crap quiz is this?
You're like, throw your phone across the room. Alright,
it's like some dude that got cut. I'm like having to like Google. They're like, oh, based on your personality, you would have gotten dropped in training camp.
Alright, so you got 5 questions, sir.
Okay, so again, offense or defense?
I'll go off. Yeah, it's offense.
Okay. Retired or currently active?
Retired.
Hall of Famer?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go ahead. We're gonna go with beep beep beep. Michael Irvin?
No.
Oh, Jason Witten. Hickman?
You needed a position. Quarterback. I'll narrow it down to quarterback.
So then it'd be Staubach or Hickman.
What is it?
I would say, given your personality, probably Staubach.
It is Staubach. You know, so hey, I'm gonna read mine real quick. Pull yours up so we can share what Emmitt Smith was. But for Roger Staubach, and you know what you talked about the jersey number?
Yeah.
I think what got me is when it said pick your favorite superhero. I picked Captain America. And it said the nickname of Captain America fits you very well because you are admired by those around you for your heroism and the quiet, unassuming way you go about your business. You're more interested in contributing to the betterment of those around you than to any personal glory. A trait that makes people admire you even more. It's clear that you're one of the greatest greats of all time. Roger Staubach. Yeah. And so go ahead and let's Emmitt Smith.
I realize now that my screenshot cut off part of the bottom of it, so I'm only going to have part of it. But it says, you have the kind of smile that draws people in and makes them want to get to know you better. You let your work speak for itself, but you also enjoy engaging in the more showy side of fashion and style. While you don't broadcast the fact, you are a very spiritual person who's devoted to it. But I kind of read through it, I was like, I guess so I could get some of that.
Well, I can see the spiritualism also. I think the thing about, was it Emmitt's big celebration just handing the ball to the ref or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you're not a showy guy.
The one thing that I thought was kind of, it made me think though, is like when you take these personality quizzes, does anybody ever build in like the crap answer? Like where like when you take it, they're like, oh, why are you even still alive taking this quiz? Like, you know what I mean? Because it's like, oh, okay, cool.
Why don't you just choose who you want to be?
That makes me feel good. Like, okay, and it's like, okay. What happens if you fill like all these questions and they're like, okay, the most likely cowboy you would be the guy that never made it to the NFL.
I'm surprised you didn't keep doing it till you got like Jason Witten or something. You're like, nope, do it again.
Shoot, if
do it again.
Well, that's what I'm like wondering. Like, were those the only 4 you could get? Were the 4 that were there? Because what, Aikman, Emmitt, Irvin, and
you gotta
Staubach.
imagine this. I gotta imagine Theon's a possibility.
See, because I would have gone for that one. That would be nice.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not that flashy guy.
No.
Excuse me. Hey, real quick, by the way, we're drinking the official beer of the Dallas Cowboys.
We are.
And it's got was DeMarcus Ware one of your boys, by the way?
I liked it because he played well. It's upsetting that he went and got a Super Bowl ring somewhere else, but I mean, I understand.
Yeah.
You don't want to get paid when they don't want to pay you.
For my Broncos.
That's right. That's correct.
He's going into the Hall of Fame here in a week or two. He's about a week.
Which means
next weekend.
Because they go in their bust. Their bust doesn't have a logo on it, does it? Unless I miss it.
Not on the bus, but I think dude, I mean, it's been years. I went to the Hall of Fame when I was like,
because you worked with
11 years old or something. It's been so long. But it's somewhere. I think there's a jersey somewhere. Because people retire as a certain team.
Well, that's what I was wondering, because I know it's like, they sign an honorary contract, so they retire as a whatever, and it's like,
I sure hope.
Is there something there?
Based on the beer, I'm gonna guess.
Well, because he retired as a Cowboy. Like, I know he signed his little ceremonial contract. Jerry Jones is the one that's gonna do his little opening induction speech or whatever. So, but I'm like, does it really matter? Like, you played for the Cowboys and you did good.
It doesn't matter.
But you won a Super Bowl
with
somebody else.
I think the interesting thing is, I'd like to look at Peyton Manning because I did with the Colts for so long. But he hates Indianapolis. Like, he hated how they handled the situation. So he lives in Denver. He does everything for the Broncos. So it's almost like he kind of disassociated himself with Indianapolis.
Really?
So I'm curious, when he went to the Hall of Fame, did he go in as a Bronco? Because he was a Colt way a lot longer.
Oh, yeah.
But he won just as many Super Bowls with Denver as he did with Indianapolis. Actually went to the Super Bowl more times with Denver than he did with Indianapolis.
He's lost in one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got destroyed by the Seahawks, man.
What started off that was the first snap was like a safety or something?
Yeah.
Or a defensive touchdown. I was like,
that didn't help. Yeah, it was safety.
I remember watching that game and going, I'll go for them. Plus, I didn't really like the Seahawks. I didn't like the Legion of Boom's attitude, thinking they were so full of themselves.
Yeah.
And after that first play, I was like, I don't think it's gonna go Denver's way.
After it was 8-0.
Yeah.
What did we lost 45-8 or something? We got 8 points. I know that.
That was that doesn't feel good at all right there.
By the way, it's Jandler.
Oh, that's right.
Hey, so I wrote down here.
Yeah.
I think I've joked with you, right? Next summer we should just get in your camper or whatever and drive out to Oxnard. I would love to do the personality test with you pull the punter off the side. Hey man, you come get a little interview with us.
Or doing one of the players. Turns out you're not like you. Are you being completely honest with yourself right now? Or are you being completely honest when you're not?
I just think it'd be funny to interview people that don't get interviewed a lot of, like the water boy.
Come over here.
So, what are some secrets that we don't know about?
Which he saw. He licked us when nobody's looking. I pick my nose and put it in the Gatorade. But only on the times when they're not nice to me. You're like, what?
Alright, so now fan reaction to the draft, man. What do you think?
It's alright. I mean, it's not super splashy. It's not an offensive lineman, which is always nice. But at the same time,
your first 3 picks, though, you probably liked, right? Maisie Smith, the D tackle. Well, maybe not Schoonmaker, but you had to replace Dalton Schultz, and then you got linebacker Overshown from Texas. I mean,
well, and see, that's the things I wonder how good Overshown will be, because, he started at UT, but granted, UT's not what it used to be back in the day.
Not defensively.
No. And so, I'm thinking, okay, maybe he could be good, but they're projecting him as a solid special teams contributor.
You know what my favorite pick for your Cowboys are? Deuce Vaughn.
If he could be the Darian, a Darren Sproles. The only thing that sucks. Sorry, excuse me. The only thing that sucks though, is he's a good pick. But I'm not saying anything that nobody else has said already. It seems like everybody in the running backs room is the same type of dude. I'm not saying bring back Zeke.
What's the guy you had? Is it Davis?
Malik,
yeah. Isn't he? He's more of a stronger back, isn't he?
But he's not huge.
No, but
he doesn't run heavy.
Because because Pollard and Deuce Vaughn to me are like the same people.
Yeah.
They're both what, like 5'9", 5'10", they'd be under 100
Apparently, Deuce
pounds.
Vaughn's only like 5'5" or something like that.
No, that's right, he's small. But he might be a good return guy.
Well, that's what they were saying. That I read an article the other day. They were thinking about
If there are returns still allowed in the NFL.
They're going to look at cutting Turpin because they're like, well, he doesn't contribute on offense. Like, receiver-wise, he's apparently not that good. And so, like, they were saying, well, if their returns really aren't happening, they'll just keep Deuce Vaughn as a return guy, let Turpin go. So I'm like, oh, well.
But I
didn't get him as a personality guy.
So you're like Turpin. So here's what's always unplanned with Choey and Jandler is one of us will say something and the other one will be like, oh, you kind of remind me. So years ago, when I was in the Navy, bear with me on this story because it kind of may be a little confusing, but I dated this girl whose sister, right?
Girl.
So my girlfriend's friend's sister.
Yeah.
Was dating somebody from the Seahawks, right? He got drafted like in the 4th round or something one year.
Right.
I don't know the guy's name, but my girlfriend at the time asked me who this player was, and I was like, tell your girl that guy needs to save. Tell your friend's sister that dude needs to save his money. She's like, why? I've never heard of him, so I doubt he's gonna really make it. And I was, lo and behold, I don't think he made it out of.
Turns out Russell Wilson.
I don't think he made it out of the preseason.
Turns out I was really wrong about Richard Sherman.
No, it was some receiver, man. It wasn't good though. But he didn't make it.
No, the tight end, like Schumacher, however you say his name, Michigan dude. So, but not that he's a bad player, but I feel like they could have drafted somebody different at a different position. Like we had 3 other tight ends.
Yeah, you know, like I have a joke with other Cowboy fans about Bijan. Obviously, he didn't make it anywhere near there. But I was like, if Bijan had been there, do you think they'd take him over Mazie Smith?
I would not have been happy.
I think they would have, man. If he'd have been there, what did you guys draft? 25, 26?
Yeah, I'm sure they probably would have. That's why I was like, we don't need that. Like, we don't. Like, what would you done then? Drafted this dude who you're going to pay at least some point, like some big rookie money.
5 years.
Well, but at least he gets like that guaranteed year big rookie money. And you just franchise Pollard. And the thing is, like I think it sucks, especially like what they talk about now. Like it sucks, and I feel bad for like running backs, but in reality, you can get the production you need out of a running back. I mean, hypothetically, like theoretically, like potentially, whatever Lee word it is.
Choey.
Like. No, potentially, theoretically.
Oh, wild word?
Yeah. You could get... Deuce Vaughn could probably come in and give, like, the yardage they need that Zeke was putting out, at least last year. The only difference is that Zeke runs, like, heavy, so, like, when he's not afraid to just run right into you to try and get 2 yards that he needs.
Do you expect Vaughn to be like a... what do they call those jet sweep guys and do a little slot routes? Or maybe coming out of the backfield, catching passes, more of his MO.
I don't know how like the new
Pollard doing more of the off tackle runs and things like. Yeah, you're right. You guys don't have anybody running straight.
I don't know how they'll use them. Like I didn't I thought Kellen Moore had like these really cool like awesome ideas, and they just never implemented them. Because if Kellen Moore was still there, I would think they would probably roll out like some formations where you got those 3 starting receivers, Cooks, Gallup, and Lamb, and do like some like. You get I don't know what personnel they would call it, but them with Pollard and Vaughn, like in the backfield where you could motion them out and have 5 wide all of a sudden. Because Pollard can be a receiver. I think Pollard was a receiver in college before he transferred over to running back. Vaughn's like a small enough guy to where like he can pop out there on the outside and be like, he's not as tall as Cole Beasley, but he could be somebody like that, like a slot receiver.
You expect your team to run more this year? That's what everyone says. McCarthy's gonna.
That's what he says, but I'm like, with who?
Well, everyone expects him to run more than Kellen Moore did, though.
Yeah, I would.
I guess obviously we'll wait and see, but
I think the problem with Kellen Moore a lot of the times is like the deck would on first intent would drop back and either get a sack or throw an incompletion. So then also you got long yardage and you can't run.
Last year too.
And so it's like, what are you gonna run? And like, what are you gonna do when you run with Pollard and he gets 3 yards on the outside because everybody's stacking up the outside and forcing you to try and run up the middle.
Right.
And all of a sudden it's 2nd and 7, 2nd and 8. Like you're gonna have to pass. So I don't know.
What is your favorite thing about the Dallas Cowboys? It's your number one. I guess you just drawn to them since you were young. You just
probably since 4 or 5 years old. Man.
If you had to pick one thing, what would it be?
I don't know.
Hey,
I think the star. I mean, I guess I don't know. Like it's
the logo.
Well, I think that kind of represents a little bit of something like that I like. I mean, like I like the iPhone because it's like that simple elegance, like the star. It's nothing big. It's a star with like an outline of a star and an outline of a star around that. That's the logo.
Now, real quick. So obviously, my dad's from Denver, so I grew up a Bronco fan. But I don't hate Dallas. I just like joking with because there's so many people that are Cowboy fans. I was like giving y'all crap. But my favorite thing about your team, cheerleaders.
I totally thought you were taking this conversation a different way. Like when you're like, I way like the new Broncos logo better than the last one where the horses jump through a big beat.
Oh, I like the last one. I like that blue. One? I like the shade of blue. It's more like a sky blue or powder blue or whatever it is. Yeah. Now it's like a navy blue. So.
I think the new uniforms just roll better. They look better because the old school ones like with that orange.
The orange crush. Yeah, that's what we call it, man.
I don't know, just a little odd color.
Alright, I don't want to nitpick or whatever. Like I don't want to poke you with a knife or whatever. But so if I hurt you here, I apologize.
Mother.
I have I've looked up the most postseason wins since the year 2000. You want to take a guess on where your boys are?
The number that they've got.
Yeah, how many postseason wins since 2000? So it's the last 22 seasons. You are correct. Do you know how many? Here's teams that have.
Do you have the exact number? Because I think it's what, 4?
It is 4. 4 is the exact number. You have
what sucks is, I mean, everybody knocked on Dak.
Yeah.
I think he's got at least half of those.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't say a whole lot.
Just saying though, half.
He does have half. Well, I think he only has one. No, he got his second one last year.
Yeah.
But
so everybody's like, oh.
Guess who else has 4 playoff wins? The Houston Texans, the Las Vegas Raiders, not Oakland, or Oakland/Las Vegas, I guess you'd say. The Buffalo Bills. Dude, the Jacksonville Jaguars have 4 playoff wins since 2000. The Chicago Bears only have 3. Washington, Miami, Cleveland all have 1. And there is a team that has 0 playoff wins since 2000.
If I had to guess, let's say either the Browns or Detroit.
You just said the Browns, so you're right. It's the Lions. The Browns have 1 playoff win. Detroit has 0. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 22 teams that have more playoff wins since 2000 the Cowboys.
That's just marketing. That's marketing.
You probably would be upset who's number 2.
The Eagles?
It is the Eagles. And number 1...
Patriots?
Mm-hmm. Tom Brady.
I think Tom Brady has more playoff wins. Not the Patriots. I think it's Tom Brady.
They have 30 playoff wins, man, since 2000.
Because you think that they win like an average of every 3rd year?
Well, he's got 7 Super Bowl wins, and he lost 3 with the Patriots.
Yeah, so he went to the Super Bowl 10 times.
Mm-hmm. That's just insane, man. It's crazy.
Like and so you think 22-year career, 23-year, 22, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So like every other year he was in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, pretty much.
And like every 3 years he was winning it.
Pretty much.
And what was crazy is I watched him on, what's it called, The Shop, like LeBron's little HBO show.
Is that any good?
I only watched it because I saw like a clip of something on somewhere on some sort of social media thing where it had Tom Brady and all. So I was like, you know what, I want to kind of hear what he talked about. And he talked about how like he went like 7 years before, like, or something like that, between like Super Bowl wins, like when they won like 3 in a row. Or
they won 0-4 and then they didn't win again. Well, they didn't win again until the Seattle one.
Because he won. Like,
they lost to the Giants twice.
Yeah, because he won one. They either won one and then missed one and then won 2 more, or
they won in that 2000, 2001. And then I think the Ravens won in 02 or Tampa. I always get confused. And then they went back to back.
Because the Ravens went 2000.
Okay.
But yeah, like, and he talked about like how it went 7 years. So I was like, God, like he was like dominant. Then like think about it, because if he won 7 Super Bowl rings and went to 10 Super Bowls, and like there was that big of a gap between wins, like God dang, man. Like,
and during that stretch, there were a lot of people who said he was washed up, and then.
Well,
but you also so that 7 years that he wasn't winning, he still got the Super Bowl twice, and he still got the AFC Championship like multiple. I think he went to. I didn't even look it up, so I wouldn't think about Tom Brady. But he went to the AFC Championship like 20 times or something. Damn. Or the championship game, because obviously he went with Tampa Bay, who's won. But it was just like insane. All right.
There was one season that was lost and he tore it with me.
Are you looking forward to the preseason? You're right about it.
I can't stand preseason.
You hate preseason? You get a chance to. At least the Cowboys aren't playing in the Hall of Fame game, man. That meaningless.
Well, but the
charade.
Preseason for the most is crap, just because you think about like they go out there and they trot their first team offense out.
Yeah.
But they're being somewhat careful. They don't want to get their guys hurt during preseason. So you only get like a few series and they pull the rest of it, and the rest of it's like crap guys. But then they're like, well, they didn't win in the preseason. I'm like, well,
but you
win or lose in the preseason based on like 3/4 of those games being played by some good guy who they could call me to come play.
This is their chance to let your guy like Turpin play, you know? See if he's gonna make the squad or whatever. Get those youth guys some playing time. But also you gotta remember, did you hear that was a complete fluke accident, but Joe Burrow like what do you got, like a calf strain now or something?
That's what it says.
So he's supposed to be out a couple weeks, and it was just a random thing, and all he did was doing just rolling out. No one even hit him.
Yeah, I saw the highlight.
All right, so last question here before we take a break. Cowboy fan that you are, Choey, bigger hot seat, Dak Prescott or Mike McCarthy?
Mike McCarthy.
You think Mike McCarthy's on a bigger hot seat?
It's easier to cut that contract and let that guy go as opposed to like your franchise quarterback who I think has a couple more years on the less current contract. But, and you know, like if he's playing hardball with his contract before, he's not gonna give him a discount right now.
Now, see, I look at like I don't have an answer for me because to me they're both on the hot seat. If you guys are terrible, I think Mike McCarthy's in trouble, but I also think Dak's in trouble too, man. The way I'm telling my people I know with Sean Payton in Denver, dude, if we don't make the playoffs, Russell, you're gone, man. And like we'll eat that money or something. We'll get rid of you. You guys still have. You can eat the money for Dak and move on. Like, if your defense is really, really good.
No.
Right?
100%.
Now, it stinks that Zach Martin's I understand why he's holding out, but I mean, Zach Martin is one of the best guards in the NFL. So it's like, you guys got a lot. If you guys don't go deep in the playoffs, it's only one person's fault.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why McCarthy's saying let's run the ball a little more, because you don't gain as much yardage as on flash.
Yeah.
But there's a chance to control the game a little more, as opposed to like if I don't throw the ball, there's no chance of me throwing an interception. Now if I carry the ball, there's a chance of me fumbling. But
you ever
how many
watch
times do guys fumble versus how many times do guys throw picks?
You ever watch FS1? They have a show called Speak, and it have Emmanuel Acho on there, right? Yeah. But they also have Shady McCoy. He's one of there's 4 people, but the other people you probably don't know. But Shady McCoy's on there. And that dude, by the way, hates Dak. Just absolutely hates Dak. And I've told friends of mine, I was like, obviously Shady McCoy, great running back. Not a great analyst, because he sounds like a fan. Like when his takes on stuff, it's just a lot of like, yeah, he sucks. Yeah, he doesn't really give you like insight. But he will constantly bring up how Dak Prescott, how many games did he miss last year for the injury? 4 or 5? Something like that? He led the league in interceptions. And McCoy keeps bringing it up. And
the thing is, though, and I mean, I got a Dak jersey. I'm really glad if it was between Zeke's jersey and Dak's jersey, I picked Dak. So at least like that was making another season. But with Dak, some of those interceptions were 100% like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
I think that the NFL should really switch those stats though. Like when I throw, if you're a quarterback, you throw the ball and it hits your receiver in the hands and bounces off their hands.
Oh, yeah, I've said that too.
I'm like, how's that his fault? Like if I throw the ball and it hits you in the hands, or you let it bounce off your chest, you know what I mean? He's not throwing the ball and like running it over there and handing it to him like an sure catches it. Like now that's not going to get him like a ton of less numbers, but there was a couple of games I remember like it would hit the guy, it creams off their hands, it goes to somebody else. It's like, okay, well that's not him.
I'm gonna share one little story here, then we're gonna take a break, right? I'm gonna share with you a Facebook argument I got into.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm a Tom Brady fan. Remember when the Bucks and the Cowboys opened? It was a couple years ago. It was like 38-35 or something like that.
Was it
41-38. No, it was the first week of the season.
Yeah, I think that
he didn't get hurt. Dak did not get hurt.
Something happened in that game. I remember.
But anyway, the Bucks won on a game-winning field goal.
Yeah. And
there were people on Facebook talking about how Dak outplayed Brady. Right? Dak threw for like 404 yards, a little over 400. I may be getting the exact number wrong. Brady threw for like 378 or something, right? Brady had 4 touchdowns. Dak had 3, right? Brady had 2 picks. Dak had 1. But so anyway, these people on Facebook are talking about like how Dak outplayed Brady, and I was like, and I got into it with them. I was like, explain to me how. And they're like, what do you mean he had 400 yards? I was like, he had 20 more yards than Brady. Brady had 1 more touchdown. And he had 1 more pick. But this is the thing to me. This is what I you know, you mic drop stuff. Yeah. I was like, the best stat is who won the game, man. There's not
the kicker won the game.
There's not a single person watching that game that thought when Tom Brady got the ball in the 2 minutes that like, yeah, they're not going to win the game. Everybody in the world knew it.
No, I remember that game because I remember thinking the game's over.
It's a Thursday night game.
Then he threw a pick late in the game. Where I was like, oh, we actually have a chance. But then I remember that game because the Cowboys did not run the clock. Had they did better management at the end of the game to kill the clock,
yeah,
Brady wouldn't have had the last chance to go down and get that.
Who's the worst at clock management in the league?
The dude that I told you they should cut instead of that.
Yeah. You guys got
because there's been a couple of games, and I know you said, let's go to a break, but like there's been a couple of games where like I'm like, dude, we did not manage the clock and just kill the clock. I mean, my kid's playing Madden on Xbox now. When it gets to like 3 minutes in, like 3 or 4 minutes in the fourth quarter, how much time do we have left? How many time am I losing by or winning by to where I need to
take a knee, son? Take a knee.
dive, give yourself up inbounds, let the clock tick down, let the play clock kill itself.
Right. But we need to take a break too. We're gonna come back. We took a Wonderlic test. We're gonna share some results, and then I got something extra for that, and then. But there's gonna have to be a 2-part episode because they got a lot of Cowboy stuff going on. All right, so quick break and we'll be right back. All right, with so much material, Choey and I have to continue with a part 2 of this episode. So please stay tuned. It's coming soon.